Good evening. I call the July Board of Education business meeting to order. Dennis, any ground rules you want to go over again?
Everybody remember the ground rules?
All right. Okay, any public comments on the reports or agenda items? This would be the time to do that now. If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Okay, I need a motion to accept the consent agenda. Mark, I need a second.
Second?
Bernadette.
Okay.
Dennis.
Oh.
It's rough.
Roll call vote, Ms. Andrade?
Yes.
Ms. Baldwin Greenberg?
Yes.
Mr. D'Onofrio?
Yes.
Ms. Jennings?
Yes.
Mr. Negrin?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved.
And just for your information, there was nothing removed from the consent agenda. We have some informational items, which are policy first readings. And we have the annual budget vote and election timetable. Dennis, did you just want to break that down for the public?
Essentially, every year, the budget vote election timetable is actually built backwards from election day back. So what I do is, once I build it back, I put it in forward order, so candidate deadlines are there, proposition deadlines are there, go out for ballot positions, the budget hearing, last day to register to vote, last day to apply for absentee ballots, day of the vote, day of the possible revote. And the days that the legal notices appear in Long Island Advance and Long Island Business News.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay, there's no actions arising out of executive session. And now it's time for community comments. Dennis, if you want to go over the ground
You'll
rules.
be limited to 2 minutes per person with no sharing of minutes. I will warn you when you have 30 seconds left, and I will warn you again when your time is up. So please wrap it up when I ask you to wrap it up. And again, no specific student topics that may violate FERPA. And when you stand up, please just identify yourself for the record.
Hi, Peggy Flusis, Medford. I was just wondering why there are so many policy first readings. Is there?
I can respond to that.
Yeah.
So on an annual basis, we certainly update all of the business policies. So most of them are not really changes, but reviews to make sure that there's nothing that we need to modify that has changed from the prior year. So this is a practice that if you actually look at the policies online, you'll see that they are reviewed annually.
I just don't recall seeing them listed in.
No.
Yeah, Peg, that's kind of a new state requirement.
Okay. Thank you.
Philip Railing, just a quick, on the same notes, the district internal auditor, Donna, or Frank, either one, aren't they already in place? I see them 2 months of July and August.
Yes,
They come in?
the reason for that is we have an RFP every 5 years, and they will have completed that cycle. And so we would need to start going through that RFP process again and presenting to the audit committee. So we didn't want to appoint beyond that 5-year mark. So it's just to carry through the summer while the RFP process is underway. With Mr. Macy and his team, and then they would present it to the audit committee for further action.
Thank you.
And
Frank. I guess
recommendation.
that kind of goes with what we're saying about what's next, Council. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Education.
Just
and-
need you to state your name.
Oh, that was Medford Administration. We are Eric and Anne-Marie Eve of 79 Apple Lane in Medford. 7 years ago, our daughters started River Avenue Elementary School and their educational journey began. 3 years ago, our son started River Elementary and his educational journey began. 3.5 years ago, our fourth child, Ella, was born, and this made it extremely difficult for us to stay at our address within the village of Patchogue and knew that a move was imminent. We knew we did not not at all want to leave the district, and the only house we really liked to fit our large family that was up for sale at the time was in Medford. We chose to take that house and keep our kids here in the Pat Med school district that we love. At the beginning of our first year of the move, we asked permission to continue our children's educational process to continue at their respective schools, which was granted. After that year was over, we asked for another year so that their educational process could continue, the girls at South Ocean and our sons stay at River. We were granted permission once again. Over the past 7 and 3 years, respectfully, my husband and I have been thrilled with all that our children have been offered in those 2 schools. The administrators, teachers, and staff have gone above and beyond for our children. I understand I only have 2 minutes to speak, but could go to great lengths about each and every person we've come into contact with in these 2 buildings. We have 3 children that have created an educational community
30 seconds.
where they are flourishing and will be absolutely devastated if they are forced to move buildings as the district has requested. We wanted to bring to your attention that the policy created this spring is a blanket and does not fit our children's educational process. We respectfully ask that they may continue on their journey in the schools they are in. We love this community and hope that the district can consider the social and emotional anguish this would cause our children. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, thank you for presenting. I think that we have, you have received a letter from both Mrs. Lucas and I relative to this. It is indeed something that a number of our families have been experiencing. We have been trying to enforce a policy in addition to our redistricting, which has presented a challenge for a number of our families. And we are trying to manage the entire district and deal with all the challenges that all of these situations have presented. And don't want to speak about your personal situation in a public setting. I know that we have talked about this offline. The board has been apprised of this matter as well. And, you know, I'm sure that after additional discussion with the trustees, it really is the superintendent's decision. But we will, I will be getting back to you again after having this discussion this evening, but don't want to share this in a public setting.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. Board comments. Mark? Tom? Teresa? Bernadette?
No, thanks.
Diana? Kellen? Okay, I just wanted to let everybody know that moving forward with our board committees, we will have Tom handling the legislative committee again. It's been very successful. Kelly will be taking over district technology. Teresa will continue with instructional. Bernadette will be continuing with extracurricular. Diana will be continuing with buildings and grounds. Mark will be moving over to finance, and I will be also sitting with Bernadette for extracurricular. Dennis, what is the deadline for the applications this year?
September 30th.
September 30th.
And the application will be online tomorrow or the next day.
Okay, perfect. Okay, if there's no other comments, I need a motion to adjourn. Mark, I need a second. Diana, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.